Have you seen the Barbie movie yet? It's a film that has nothing to do with alcohol, and yet there's a monologue in that movie that kind of has everything to do with why women drink. The character played by America Ferrera says this: "It is literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. We always have to be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say that you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but also always be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behaviour, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women, because you're supposed to be part of the sisterhood. But always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged. So find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful. You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault." I think it's so well said. And I often work with women who will tell me that they don't really know why they drink. And on paper, they think their life looks pretty perfect and they think they should be grateful for what they've got and be happy with their lot. And actually, they are pretty content most of the time, but still, most evenings, they want to pull the shutters down on their brain and escape the world. And they can't really understand why. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that it's a lot. And whether you connect with everything in that monologue or just bits of it, all of us have experienced that pressure to be enough. And when you don't feel good enough, and it's horrible. And so it kind of makes sense that we learn to escape those feelings and numb out from those kind of pressures. And guess what? To begin with, alcohol seems to do a great job of helping you ignore all your personal failings and help you be more like that version of you that you want to be or you think you should be. I know when I first got into drinking, I remember thinking, oh my God, this is it. Like, I've discovered the secret to feeling better about myself and being more confident, more fun, more acceptable. All the things that I think I should be are just right here in this glass. But on top of that, nowadays, alcohol is also wrapped up in this strange message of self-care. So when you've had a tough day or a tough time or just another day of trying to do and be all the things, well, then you're told to treat yourself, have a drink. You deserve a glass of wine. Don't forget, it's always wine o'clock somewhere. And that's crazy, really, because self-care is meant to be about preserving and improving your health and well-being. It's supposed to be about nurturing ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. Drinking alcohol is never caring for ourselves. It's never a treat. Alcohol causes cancer, depression, anxiety, dementia, diabetes, and even death. My goodness, this is one of those huge topics that's difficult to wrap up neatly, and actually it's slightly different for everyone because we've all had different lived experiences, of course. But I want to leave you with two things. First, have some self-compassion. Rather than beating yourself up for your drinking, look at why it makes sense. What are some of the visible and invisible pressures on you that you drink to escape from? Second, remember that alcohol always gives you more of what you don't want. So if you drink because you feel like you're not doing a great job juggling motherhood and work, alcohol will just make that worse. It will have you rolling into work with a hangover and then coming home with an even shorter fuse and missing the important events that you wanted to go to. If you drink because you've always felt as if you're not quite pretty enough or not quite thin enough, alcohol will, the next day at least, make those feelings worse. And it will always stop you from doing the inner work that's needed to see past so much of this nonsense about who we should be and just accept yourself as you are. All right, so whether you've seen the Barbie movie or not, I would love to know what you think about this, about these pressures on women today, about these double standards, and just, wow, the amount of stuff that is expected from us today in 2023. Let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a great week.